Here, a lot of important people, a lot of ex-football players that I've seen that are like 6'8", 400 pounds. They're all over the place here. So we're going to have some fun today, bringing you this historic broadcast, which is something you want to be part of today. This is, if you've ever wanted to call on a show, this would be the show. We're going to be here for today and tomorrow and Friday as we inch towards the Super Bowl with the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. It's hard to tell right now at the city. The city will get really crowded starting today going into the weekend, but it's hard to tell right now whether Eagle fans and Kansas City fans are representing. I can't get a feel yet on how many Eagle fans are here. I don't think they're here yet, but I'm told that the airplanes are now being filled with Eagle fans to come down here. My partner, Bill Colarulo, is here. Bill, this is your first time down here in this colossal production called Radio Row. What are your first impressions?
It's awesome, man. I mean, it really is. It's absolutely awesome. It feels surreal to be down here with the Philadelphia Eagles in it. And you walk through the door. Well, first of all, they use that facial recognition to give us our credentials, which is pretty cool. And then you walk through the doors of Radio Row, and it's just so overwhelming. Every meaningful sports talk show is here right now live. You're seeing people. You're running into people. We're waiting for our bags yesterday. Puka Nacua standing next to us. Kyle Long sitting on the plane with us. It's just very cool that every single person that's had anything to do with the NFL seems to be right here in New Orleans with us. It's awesome.
The kid from Temple University.
Oh, yeah, Dawkins from the Buffalo Bills.
Dawkins from the Buffalo Bills was at the airport.
He was chilling there.
Yes. So we have a lot of themes to talk about today. And, again, where like a controversial take is always discussable, especially for Eagle fans when, one of our players seems to be insulted. And this time it was Dan Orlovsky. Who came yesterday? It was Nick Wright. That nobody really cares, but Dan Orlovsky, Mr. Football Analyst, made a really interesting statement. Bill, what did he say about Jalen Hurts? What exactly was the quote?
Well, we actually have the audio if you want to play it.
All right, let's start out with the audio of what Orlovsky said, and then we'll discuss.
I don't think there's anything that Jalen can do to be in the conversation with those three guys as players. I agree with your point that the Super Bowl it elevates the perception of him. But talent-wise, I don't think Jalen's ever going to be into that group. But if he wins a Super Bowl, then those three guys, we're going to have the conversations of when are they and if they will ever jump into there. But Stephen A., if I asked you to rank those four guys right now, like you get to draft those four guys right now, you're not taking Jalen Hurts over any of them. Correct?
No, you're not. No, you're not.
So
no, you're
I
not.
just
For
don't.
Conversation, from a conversation perspective, I'm simply saying the conversation changes. I understand if you're analyzing and dissecting their games the way that Dan Orlovsky does. Certainly, he's a distant fourth compared to the other three.
Okay.
I got a major problem.
All right, what is your major problem? I mean, listen, I'm not trying to take that as fuel because I don't know if you can dispute that. Can you?
Well, here's where you could dispute it. First of all, to come out and say before Super Bowl 59 that there is literally nothing that Jalen Hurts can do in this game to get into the same conversation as Lamar, Burrow, and Mahomes. What if he outplays Patrick Mahomes again? Because he outplayed him 2 years ago. There was no doubt about it. What Jalen Hurts did in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, that stat line's never been done before with over 300 yards passing, 70 on the ground, 4 touchdowns. And how often, we talk about this in the NFL draft, how often do you look at the skill set of quarterbacks coming into the draft that don't pan out in the NFL? So when Orlovsky says, he'll never be discussed with these guys as having the same skill set. Well, isn't it about success? Isn't it ultimately about success? And just look at what Jalen Hurts has done in head-to-head matchups against Lamar, Josh Allen, and Burrow. He's 3-0. He's 3-0 against those guys.
Well, here's the comparison. And I know we have to go way back for this. Were they raving about Joe Montana's skill set?
No, they were not.
No, it was a different time.
What about Brady's?
Well,
Brady wasn't getting praise coming out of the draft either.
Not out of the draft, but once he started playing, you saw what the magic was for Brady because he was a great thrower. Now, Montana was an accurate thrower, but he wasn't a great thrower. He wasn't a runner. He got by with guile and became a great quarterback. The question is, can those type of guys really can they be prevalent in the league anymore? Like Brock Purdy has sort of a Joe Montana type of feel about him. He's not obviously
went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, doesn't have greatness like Joe Montana had, but that's the type of quarterback that Montana is. Now, is Purdy ever mentioned in the pantheon of great quarterbacks? The ones that he's mentioning right there, I don't think Jalen Hurts would ever. When you put it side by side, the skill set Jalen Hurts probably would not match those quarterbacks that he mentioned. But does it matter if you win? Just like Montana.
It shouldn't matter if you win. But I have the issue with saying that he'll never be on their level because we've seen Jalen Hurts perform at an extremely high level. I know this year the passing game left a lot to be desired because they leaned heavily on the rushing attack. But you got to look at the big picture, and we've talked about it before, what Jalen does to also help that rushing attack. I'm just over him constantly getting put down and not considered up there with Lamar, Josh, or Burrow when he's had more success than all three of those guys combined. All three of those guys combined have been to one Super Bowl and they lost. Jalen's already now been to 2 Super Bowls. If he wins on Sunday and he performs again at a high level, that would be the third big game where Jalen Hurts has shined because he shined in Super Bowl 57. He shined in the NFC Championship game 2 weeks ago. And now you're telling me if he comes out in Super Bowl 59 and has a game where he outperforms Patrick Mahomes, we're still going to say, yeah, but he don't have the skill set. I mean, that's stuff that you look at in the NFL draft, not once it's real applicable to game situations. Jalen Hurts should be in that conversation.
Okay, suppose he loses on Sunday and just plays, not bad, but he plays average. What will that do for the legacy of Jalen Hurts? He's been known as a winner. Well, 2 shots at the Super Bowl, and they would not have won. What does that mean for this quarterback?
And he plays average?
Yeah.
You said? Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would be – obviously, it doesn't elevate his legacy, but I don't know how much it would hurt his legacy because we've seen what he's done in 4 years as a starter. 4 playoff appearances, 2 Super Bowl appearances. If he plays average and they lose this game, which I don't think is going to happen, by the way, so I think it's going to be a moot point. I still expect as we get closer, the Eagles are going to win this game. I don't think it elevates his legacy, but he probably stays around where he is now, which we've talked about, top 6 or 7 quarterback in the NFL. But if he wins, his legacy elevates. If he loses, I don't think it drops. Now, if he plays terribly, maybe we have to have that conversation. I just don't see it happening, man. This kid is locked in. Everything I'm seeing from Hurts over the last couple of weeks, he is locked in. I think he's going to ball out on Sunday.
Okay. Well, we'll see if that happens. A victory for Hurts on Sunday may make him the best Eagle quarterback of all time. He may be able to surpass Donovan McNabb with 1 game here if they win this Super Bowl, right? You're pretty much
I think it's
on that level.
If they win on Sunday, it's a guarantee that he goes down as the best quarterback in franchise history. I make the argument that he's already there. I think you make the argument he's already there, having been to the Super Bowl twice when McNabb only got there once in 10 years. I think he's already there. I understand people who are reluctant to put him there, but if he wins, I don't see how you argue at all. If he wins on Sunday, he is the best quarterback in franchise history. No argument.
All right, so we have a lot of stuff planned today in addition to these guests that we'll have that we don't know yet that we will have, but we will have certain guests that are scheduled. But we're going to make some big grabs here as we see some movie stars or TV stars or athletes come by. So you got to listen to this show all game long. And I just heard from Charles Barkley. Charles will be coming on the show today.
Charles.
That's right. Charles Barkley will be coming on the show today for his Super Bowl prediction.
I better be positive about the bird.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see because Charles likes to place Super Bowl bets. We're going to have to ask him.
Would you see what's over my shoulder? FanDuel, baby.
Yeah, that is exactly right. And, of course, we're here courtesy of the great people at FanDuel. The Big Easy. That's where we are now. Live broadcast from Radio Row presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. All right, here's how you get in. Again, this is a historic show, and you can tell your grandchildren that you are actually on a show from historic Radio Row. 610-632-0975 is how you get into the show. It is the Mike Missanelli Show, live from New Orleans, the convention center here which is called Radio Row, where I can see about 300 media entities. And I'll take a picture. We'll put it on Twitter. All right? We're back after this.
Hey, everybody, it's Bill Colarulo. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you can engage during the show, and you're not going to want to miss all the content that we post. It's not only the live videos. It's videos after the fact. It's our shorts. It's all the content you want as a Philadelphia sports fan. Looking forward to connecting.